Okay, if I open that now. So we've got 3 viewers waiting. I think I fixed it.
All right.
Okay.
Look
All
at that. We're live, ladies and gentlemen. That's great. Beautiful. Hi. This is Roger, all the way from Stockholm, Sweden. Very much welcome to That Beautiful Life podcast. I believe, we have kind of lost that, I guess, but it's probably 258 when it comes to the number of the episode. We have missed you. Hope you have missed us because we haven't been here visibly or seen, so to say, for I believe it's 2 weeks. We're going to get into reasons why and all that beautiful stuff. Well, I'm not sure it's that beautiful, especially when it has to do with me, but we're getting to that. But as always, it's nice to talk to you again, also, my dear friend Q. How are you doing, man?
I'm good. I am good.
Yeah?
I have
Yeah?
been away for about 2 weeks, and I'm finally back. And
Yeah.
we're
It was a long
finally.
trip. Yeah.
It was quite a long trip, but I'm back. I'm back. I'm
Mm.
finally back home. I'm in the house, and yeah, I really need a like when you've been away from like your barber and everything like that, and you feel rough. I feel rough. Like I look at my face, and I'm like, oh my god, I need to shave. I need to get my hair done. I need to fade the sides. I need to do all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's kind of it. It's nice to be back.
Everything has its time, and you have been away to, get some time off, some energy, and energize and stuff like that.
Yes, definitely.
I mean, bro, we can start there. I mean, how has it been? I've just seen some nice pictures. Also, the thumbnail here is really beautiful looking. We're talking outdoor activities. Yeah.
I have had a lot of outdoor activities. I have been out of the house. I have been. So I initially I took some time. It was initially just to job hunt. I'm looking for a new job, and I'm just like, look,
Yeah.
I being at home, there's so many distractions on a day to day. It makes it difficult, because I'm sort of juggling a lot of different things, and I'm trying to make everything sort of work properly. And because of that, it means that yes, I do have time to do stuff like job hunting, but sometimes things sort of like I'll start working on something and then something comes up and I have to stop and I have to go do something else. And whereas when you don't have to deal with that day to day, you could just sit there and just focus and just get stuff done. And I'm the kind of person, my personality, I need consistency with things. I need things to just work, and whenever I have to stop and start, it throws me off. And I think it's a psychological thing where sometimes I just start feeling like I don't want to do this anymore. Like it's just like
right.
I just need it to things just need to be so consistent. So I had a chat with the missus and came to a conclusion that I should take some time. I happen to have this family member who lives in Liverpool, and he said, well, his place is empty, no one's staying there. I can stay there if I want to and do my thing. So I did. So I took the offer up,
right,
and I went to Liverpool. And I got to Liverpool. I've been to Liverpool quite a few times. I'm accustomed to Liverpool. So I got there, and his place is in the center of Liverpool. It's like downtown Liverpool. So I get there, and I was expecting to see him on occasion because he lives in Liverpool. He just lives with his missus now across town. So, but he's so busy. He's busy with work and family and stuff like that. He just had a kid, so he's just sort of like he's so busy right now. And so every time I'd see him, it would be for like 15 minutes and then he's gone again. He'd be like, oh, I'll pop in for a bit, and then he's gone. I'm like, dude, like, I barely see you,
right.
So we didn't see a lot of each other while I was there, but that was fine. I mean, as I say, like he was doing his thing, I was doing my thing. It just didn't really line up in that sense.
True.
But yeah, Liverpool was nice. It was Liverpool to me, but it wasn't really what I noticed while I was in Liverpool, because I met some friends there. I have a few friends in Liverpool already. Hey Elijah, what's going on?
Yeah, hey Elijah. Yeah.
So I've got a few friends in Liverpool and so forth, and I'm accustomed to whenever I go to Liverpool, I see them. We see each other, we chat, we hang out, that kind of stuff. So it was just gonna be the same old, for the most part. We were just gonna hang out and that was it, But really and truly, I don't think that it was helping. Like my mental health wasn't in the best of states, So I was just sort of I was just sort of dealing with personal stuff. I think some of it I've spoken to you about, stuff I probably don't want to get to on the podcast. But
Yeah.
I was dealing with some personal things, and even though I was there and I was applying for jobs and doing interviews and doing all that kind of stuff, when I wasn't doing that, it was just sort of like I was in my head and it wasn't the best feeling.
Yeah.
And so, but at the end of the day, you just kind of have to, get on with it. It is what it is. So
Sure.
that's kind of what I was doing. I was just getting on with it and just doing what I needed to do.
Yeah, we can
And
also add to it, Q, that I mean, you and I hooked up. Actually, we had the ambition to make a podcast also, even though you were in Liverpool.
yeah.
But due to the technical circumstances, I mean, we tried and everything, but it didn't work as intended. So
Hmm.
we just wanted to add that. We had the best of intentions, but
We
yeah,
did.
it is what it is. But at the same time, as I said, yeah, you were there for, as you explained right now, and apparently the trip went on
Hmm.
like from here on as well, which I'm curious to hear about because as I said, I've just seen the pictures, so it's like, you know,
It did. So essentially, I planned to stay a week for the most part, and then I was just like,
yeah,
if things move on in a certain way, I might end up spending an extra week. And I got a call from my friend Elijah, who's in the chat right now, and
exactly,
Elijah
nice.
calls me up, and he's like, "So you're not coming to see me, right?" And I'm like, "Dude, I'll come to see you before I leave to go back down, because Elijah lives in Lancaster." And
Mm.
he's wanted me to come visit him for ages now. And he's always like, "Oh, you come all the way up to Liverpool and you go to Ramsbottom and Manchester and all these other places, and you never come to see me." And so I said, "You know what? I'll come see you while I'm up here, before I head back home." And he's like, "Yeah, you're not gonna come." And in the end, we get on a call, and Elijah and I we're close friends.
Yeah,
Similar to how I can talk to you, I can talk to Elijah about a lot of stuff that's going on with me, how
that's
I'm
good.
feeling, and all that kind of stuff. And so we got into a conversation. I think I was walking through Liverpool at the time. I was out for a walk, and we were just on the phone and we're having this chat. And as I'm talking to him about, I guess how I'm feeling, and what's going on with me and so forth, he just said, like, he's like, "Dude, why don't you just come up and visit me? You can stay as long as you want." And I was just like, "Nah, it's all right." And in my mind, I'm thinking I don't really want to impose upon him, because in Liverpool, remember, I'm staying in a house that's no one's using. It's just me there for the
Yeah,
most part.
right,
So I do have that sort of autonomy that I can just do what I want, how I want, why I want. I don't feel like I'm imposing upon someone.
right.
But yeah, but Elijah was like, "Nah, you're not imposing, just come, whatever have you." And he's Trini like me. So when Trinis say, like, "Look, dude, like, just come," they mean it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's this sort of thing where he's just like, "Dude, just come over." So I'm like, "All right, cool, fine. I'll come over. I'll come, see you for a bit." But my intention when I came over was just to come for like a day and then head back
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Liverpool. And Elijah was like, "Look, I'll just book a ticket for you. I'll book an open ticket. You can stay as long as you want, leave when you want, kind of thing." And I booked, I got the ticket. I went to Liverpool. It was a strange trip because I got on the train. The first train I got onto was going to another city, and then from that city you go to Lancaster. And I think the,
Okay.
the ride was about an hour and something.
Mm.
And the first train, I got on this first train, and there's these rowdy girls on the train. They get on the train at one of the stops, and they're drunk, and they're like having a thing. And then one of the girls, she gestures if she can sit next to, like, and because I'm sitting in one of those seats on the train where you have 4 seats, so you have a table in the middle.
Yeah,
And you've got one facing you. So I usually like that seat because usually you have really good electrical ports and it's more
sure.
comfortable. You can rest your shoulders and all that kind of stuff than the regular squished up seats. So I'm just like, "Yeah, sure, you can sit. Yeah, that's no problem." And so her and her friend sit down, and this girl starts talking to me. Right, so we're having a chat and everything like that, and it's all chill. And she's saying to me that they're celebrating her friend's 30th birthday, and we get to this
Mm.
this this chat on the train and all that kind of stuff. And but they are drunk, wasted, right? Um, and then
Okay.
inevitably, I get to my stop and I say bye to them because the other friends start talking to me and all this sort of stuff. And I say bye to them and I get off. When you're talking to drunk people, it's sort of like you're navigating this little tricky maze of,
Yes,
like, the
it's a very different landscape, especially when you're that sober yourself. You're
yeah,
not on the same level, so to say. So it's like I know exactly what you mean. It can be quite. Sometimes it can be a bit entertaining and fun, but at the same
yes,
time, I've been at parties where I might be, sober, and it becomes it becomes a bit like, well, how long should I stay? It's
uh,
like,
that's the feeling. It's an uncomfortable because they're talking to you. They want to talk to you and so forth because they're drunk. But then at the
yeah.
same time, you're just sort of thinking like, ooh, talking to drunk people is weird. You just don't know what they're gonna say. You don't know what they're gonna do. It's just sort of this really uncomfortable weird thing because some people are different when they're drunk. Some are really
Oh,
affectionate.
absolutely.
You
Yeah.
know, some are very talkative.
Yeah.
Some get sick.
Yeah.
While I was in Lancaster, there was one guy he was drunk and he came up to me and he's like trying to touch me and stuff. I was like, dude, like stop, like don't touch me. Like I'm just sort of like stretching my arm out. So I'm like, I don't know,
Mm.
like what is wrong with these people?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, they have different types of drunks and
Yeah, yeah, you got to be aware of that as you're describing it, and
yeah.
also be careful. I mean, I just remember shortly when my sister, I have an older sister,
Hmm.
when she described one of her classmates.
Yeah.
There was a guy. He was very sweet. I mean, I met him a few times. Very nice guy,
Hmm.
but when he got drunk, he got very aggressive.
Right.
He like started fights and shit. It was like
Wow.
he got really tilted in its mind.
Oh
So
man.
it was not good at all, and that got him into problems as well, or
Hmm.
trouble. And that's when I think you should really consider, should I drink at all?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
if that's the kind of behavior that
Hmm.
triggers whatever, get triggered.
Yeah, because I think what alcohol does is that it loosens your ability to sort of like have self restraint because I think we humans for the most part modern day humans we do have to have a lot of self restraint because we all have these
Yeah,
intrusive thoughts and stuff that go through our minds, but you have to make a decision of whether or not I'm going to do these things or whether or not
exactly.
I'm
Yeah,
not. And when you're drunk, most of the time you just, well, screw it, I'll do it. It's all right. I don't care. I'm drunk.
yeah.
You know. So so I went to so I leave these ladies, I get off the train, these drunkies, I say bye to them and I get off. And then I stop at this train station. I get on this train after a while to Lancaster. Rog, the train old. It's like a vintage train. I felt like I went
Oh,
back in time. It was just sort
oh,
of
whoa,
like
whoa.
not like the ones with the chimneys and stuff, but it was like
No, no.
it was like it was a train that you'd probably expect to get on in the I want to say 90s. I want
Yeah,
to say
okay.
so it was older, and you could
Mm,
tell just from looking at it from the windows, the colors in the train, beige.
mm.
The lights look old lights. They look like they were just old. The seats look old. The
Wow.
everything looked old. So I saw this old train, and I'm just like, I'm thinking in my mind, Lancaster is gonna be old.
Bad. Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course.
I'm going back in the past. And I get to Lancaster, and I get out of the train station. It's a small train station. There's like some work they're doing on the train station. It's tiny. So I'm just thinking, wow, I was right. This place, I'm going back in time. This is a cave town. I'm
Yeah.
half expecting to see someone chiseling like hieroglyphics on walls and stuff. It's that like
Okay.
and I call Elijah and he's like, oh, I'm on my way because Elijah says he lives right near the train station. So I'm like, there's
Uh-huh.
no way. He's literally around the corner from the train station. So we meet up and we're walking back and we're having a laugh and stuff like that. And Elijah keeps he's like, oh, welcome to so what he used? He said, welcome to Struggleville. Because I had the audacity,
Oh.
according to Elijah, sorry, I had the audacity to ask him a simple question. All I asked Elijah when I was coming, I said, Elijah, how fast is your internet? He's like, oh, I don't have internet. I live in Struggleville. I don't even have a bed. I sleep on the floor. And I'm just like, so, yeah, it's Elijah's banter. He's quite hilarious.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so we are we are walking and we're having this laugh and we're chatting to each other and stuff like that. And we get to Elijah's flat, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you get into Elijah's flat is what you'd expect if a bloke lived without a missus and just had a bloke life, but he's a gamer bloke. So like just imagine how you or I would have our setup if it was just you or
Yeah.
I.
Yeah,
His
yeah,
place
yeah, yeah.
His place is it's a 1 bedroom flat. It's immaculate. His sofa is big and nice. He's got a 70 something inch telly in the living room, 55-inch in the bedrooms, accent lights on the back of the telly. He's got
Of course.
PlayStation. He's got his Switch. He's got Switch 2. His controls all set up nicely. It's charging on these nice dock and everything like that. He's got Alexa in there doing his bidding, turn the lights off and all this sort of stuff like that. Just a proper lad pad, but very organized, very neat, very clean. And
Nice.
I get in there, and he introduced me to this friend that's there. He's got this friend who turned up, this friend named Steven. And he's like, oh, this is my mate Steven, this is my mate Q, So we he did a hi, hello, blah blah blah. And I put on my bags. He's like, oh, you can have the bedroom. So I put my bags down and everything like that. And then he's like, oh, we're going out. So we went to a pub, and we're doing karaoke. Well, I didn't do karaoke. Elijah did karaoke. And Elijah's one of those people. Elijah does not care about anyone or what anyone thinks. Elijah, I'm not that he's disrespectful or anything like that, but
he goes at it.
He's very sure of himself. He does not. Yeah, he doesn't sort of like, oh, I'll tailor how I behave for other people. No, he is who he is, but he's a nice person. So he goes up and he's singing, and he's up there. He's like, oh, this is my song. He's singing the song, and all these people are singing along with him, and he's up there. And there's some other acquaintances and stuff that Stephen introduces me to, and we're all just chatting and all that kind of stuff and having a pint. And this old guy just comes up to me, and he's like, oh, hi, and he gives me a pat on the back, and he's like, this is for you, and he puts a beer down for me on the table, and I'm just like, what? Who is this old guy, and why did he put a beer on the table for me? I don't even know him. I'm not drinking that. And he goes back to his table. And then Elijah comes around. I'm like, Elijah, like, this dude just like gave me this something. He's like, oh, I know him. Yeah, that's so and so. And he walks over to the guy and he gives him a hug and all this sort of stuff.
Okay.
And then Elijah comes back. I was like, I'm still not drinking that. So this other girl, one of the acquaintances, she downed the drink. And I was like, okay, cool, that's fine. Good on him. But generally, after that, my time in Lancaster sort of involved hanging out with Elijah, us chatting and stuff like that. He took me to all these different places that he frequents in the town, and they have all these sort of what do you call it? It's like nature. It's just nice walks and apple orchards and just beautiful scenery and smells of cow manure. The smell of a butt cheek of a sheep. All that kind of stuff.
Included, yeah.
Very much included. And I went to church as well. I went to church on... Okay. Elijah he's a big church boy. So he took me to church on Sunday with him. So I went to church, and there he was dancing in the church and praying and all this sort of stuff. So that was an experience as well. Spent some time in church, and we went out for a meal. He took me to different places to eat there. But what I found out from being in Lancaster is that even though I thought it was like in the middle of nowhere, when you get there, the town center is pretty much like our town center in Reading. So you've got every shop you could think of that you could possibly want. You've got your Primarks, you've got your Nando's, you've got your Tesco's and all the other O's and
they're all there.
Yeah, all there. Game, everything, HMV. Just go to all the shops that I'm accustomed to visiting in Reading for the most part. It's there. So I was just like, cool. Wow, it's really well, like it's well serviced essentially. So I went to there, checked out all that stuff. It was just nice, really, just sort of like see different places and walk around. And then Stephen took me on some other things as well. The picture from the thumbnail is a picture Stephen took of me, where we were in the we went up to these lakes, all right, and it was sort of like they call it the Lake District. You go up, climb a hill, and when you get up there to the top, that's the view. And Roger, when I tell you, we're going up, and you're seeing old people, like proper old people, like they look like they're like at least 80 something or something, and they're going like normal, like they're coming, and it's not an easy hill to climb. It's steep, right? It's got bumpy rocks and all. I'm like, how are these people doing this? And they're coming down. They're like, oh, morning, we're just going past and everything. Wow. And then
That's nice.
it's so nice. And then there's one point where when we got to the top and we're going back down, there's an old guy who he's under the center as well. He's just sitting there with a tea and he's got his dog there and he's on a phone call. So yeah, Jamie, you know how it is, blah, blah, blah. We in these hills and stuff like that, doing it how it is. My guy looks like he's 70. And he is chilling on the top of this mountain. And the two of us, Stephen and I, we're sweating balls. We're just like going down, just like sweaty and stuff. And just like,
yeah.
you know, we're just walking down the hill. I'm trying to be careful where I walk. I don't want to slip and fall off the edge. My guy's sitting on the hill, like, you know, just chilling every morning. You know, he's on his phone, you know, on a call with someone, you know, just chilling on the hill, just up there with him and his little dog, just up there chilling. So it was nice. It was honestly wonderful just walking around. There's some aqueducts as well around there we went to. I even went and saw some, I think the last day before I left, they had this sort of, it's like a lapping thing. It's like reenactment of sort of medieval times in the UK. So you have people dressed in full armor and stuff like that. They've got tents, they've got food and all this sort of stuff that you'd expect from those times. I've got a lot of videos and stuff from there. I will try to see if I can put it up. Not right now because, you know, we didn't prepare for that. But it's like really cool stuff. You know, you've got all this sort of like people fighting with swords and and they do this full reenactment. Like when you walk into the camp, because they do it in a park essentially. When you walk into the camp, everyone's got their tents. They're cooking the food like the medieval time. They've got their dress the way they dress in the medieval times and everything like that. They've got the same knives. They've got the same types of meats. They just turn it on these sort of fireplaces and stuff and just cooking it.
You know what? It's nice to hear this because they have the same thing. I would say things. It's in a couple of places here in Sweden, which I'm not surprised. I mean, regarding the history and everything, I'm thinking about the Middle Ages, you know. Foremost, and you know, this small island outside of the East Coast here, which is called Gotland. The city there, Visby, has a week that is dedicated because that city has still like old Middle Age buildings, so it makes sense, you know, with the environment, and it's exactly what you describe. People come there dressed from from all parts of Sweden. They go there dressed in you know, the right style of clothes and as you say, cook the food, partly at least what they ate back then, and tournaments with knights and stuff like that. So cool, nice to hear that. Yeah. If you have photos or something later, that's nice to see. Definitely.
I've got photos, I've got videos. I've got photos and videos, like, because even they had a whole court ceremony where they basically they brought out people who they were trying in this sort of like fantasy court essentially that they were sort of doing. So it was sort of like along the lines of like, you know, they would announce the person, like, you know, like how they would in those times. You'd have a court, you'd have a lord of the land. Let me see if I can put it in front of our video here for everyone to kind of see. So that's the sort of like video there. You can kind of see it, and essentially you'd have someone who's like I guess you can say he is the guy in charge of the court, and he talks and announces the person. He's like, this man, you know, he stole from a shop or whatever have you, and you know, the guy will speak for himself, and he'll say, well, you know, the sort of lord of the thing, he'll be like, well, this is the thing, and then they'll have a back and forth and an argument, and it's sort of a thing whereby they would have a full on breakdown of it as if it were like the times, you know, and the people would dress the way they should be dressed accordingly. So you've got this particular video that I'm showing here. These two groups of people got into a fight because of a football match. So
okay.
So the Lord is sort of dealing with it, and he's saying to them, look, for all the damage that you guys would have done from this football match, you each have to pay each other's tongue a certain amount of you know, coin or whatever have you. They even have the same kind of coins and stuff from those times. So a lot of the things that they would have had from there, people have recreated them and whatever have you. There's a coin making machine, you know. I actually, you know, I held it and stuff like that because my mate, he who took me, he participates in this as well. So he knew the people, so I was able to get up close and personal with them. I think a bit closer than maybe some other people probably would have been able to. But a lot of cool things that they did there. They showed you the knitting that they do and all that kind of stuff. You had people in all sorts of cool armor. I played a board game where it was sort of like it was sort of a thing whereby it was like chess, but it was played differently than the chess that you and I know. They had foods and stuff from those times. Everyone had a knife, their own knives that they made or whatever have you crafted. You had people cooking, you had people sort of going from huts to huts. They were even camping there. They were camping there in that. So some of the people were staying there overnight. Some people, they lived nearby. They were going back home to their house. But some of them were from different towns, and they were like, well, I'm camping in that actual medieval tent that we have here that I'm going to be sleeping in tonight. And I was just like, wow, like you guys do it hard. This is really cool. Wow, so nice. It was a really nice experience. And speaking to the people as well, once you got to speak to them a bit, you got to understand these were just regular people. Some of them were teachers, some of them were, they had other forms of work and all this sort of stuff, and it didn't really matter to a certain extent of like it wasn't just the sort of thing of like, oh well, only certain types of people come to this. You were meeting people from different thing, and they put this sort of thing on because it sort of helps younger people and other people sort of kind of get to understand the history and learn about these things and so forth. So
true.
It was nice. It was very nice to experience that. I also did one more thing while I was in Lancaster. I played underwater hockey. So
what?
Yeah. So one of those days.
Never heard that.
I will have to say, underwater hockey is one of the coolest sports I have ever participated in, but it's also one of the most difficult I've done. All right. So I'll just describe underwater hockey to you guys as best as I can. I don't know if I can pull a video of it because I couldn't record it with me because I was in the pool.
Yeah, exactly.
But essentially, you get flippers and you have a snorkel. Those are the two tools you have initially to start with: flippers, snorkel, and you have goggles on your eyes.
Yeah. You
get into the pool and you swim to the bottom of the pool, so straight down to the bottom. So you take a deep breath. Swim to the bottom. You have to lay flat on the bottom of the pool. And then you have a hockey stick that's about, let's say, just underneath a foot. All right? So the hockey stick is just underneath a foot. And you have a hockey puck that's about that size. All right? And it's about that thick. And it's heavy. Okay. It's on the bottom of the pool. And so the hockey stick has like a hook shape, like a regular hockey stick to a certain extent. So you can push it with the front of the hockey stick, or you can sort of hook it with the other side to sort of like move it around and protect it from other people and all this sort of stuff.
Sure.
And and you can make passes and so forth. The goal is a long metal sort of goal on the bottom of the pool. It's about, I'd say it's probably about, lengthwise it's probably maybe like 6 foot. It's a long goal. Right? Maybe about 6, maybe longer, but it's a long metal goal at the bottom of the pool. So you sink that to the bottom of the pool, and then what you do with it is that you essentially knock the puck into it. But how the goal works, it sort of goes up and then bends down into this metal sheet. So if I had a piece of paper, let's see if I have a piece of paper here, I can show you. Oh, this is a weird receipt, but anyway, so imagine this is the goal. I'll just fold it to the way it's shaped, so you can kind of see what
interesting.
How it works. Yeah, it was one of the coolest things.
While you're doing that, who introduced you to this?
Oh, so this was Steven. This was Steven. Okay. This was my friend Elijah's friend who I met while I was in Lancaster.
Got it.
So it's shaped like this. This side would have been shorter, so let's say about that short. All right, so this is the side. So if you look at it like this is what it would look like from the side, essentially, right? And the puck would have to go up here and then fall into this space to count as a goal. Okay. But remember, the puck is heavy and you're underwater. So the general idea is that you have to
and you sometimes have to breathe. Yeah. So
I will get to that. So then, so you then have to scoop it up. You have to give it a sort of flick to get it to bounce over the thing and end up inside that goal. And it's about 8 people on a team, I think, if I remember correctly. I may be doing it wrong. I have a picture of the group of people I did it with, my hockey group. But I don't. Let me see. I'll count us
Also,
out.
I want to say hi to JB. How are you doing there? Prince Q, Roger that. We are all here. I hope you're fine. And Miss ANR. Hi, Alex. Hope you're fine as well.
So we have 14 of us. So 7 on the team.
7 on the team.
7 per team.
Per team. 7 per team. Oh, okay.
7 per team. So it's a pretty big.
That's gonna be a mess down there.
so yeah, you think so, but when you get down there, it's insane. So I'll explain how it works. So you swim to the bottom. So the biggest thing to deal with is that, one, I've never used flippers in my life. I've always swam with just my legs and arms. So I'm using these flippers. My Stephen is saying to me, like, Q, like, you can swim, right? I was like, yeah, I can swim. He's like, okay, cool. He's like, using flippers is just like, it just makes you a lot faster. I was like, no, like, how does it make me a lot faster? I'm a really fast swimmer. I like to think I'm fast. Bro, you use the flippers and then you switch back to not using flippers. You're like, oh my God, I'm so slow. It's like...
Yeah, it's a big difference.
It's definitely a huge difference. Yeah. So when you're swimming in the pool, you have to, one, I had to get accustomed to using the flippers because I'm accustomed when I'm treading water to stay above the water. I don't do this to stay above water. I tend to do this.
Yeah.
That's the leg movement I tend to do because I find that's more relaxing than doing this.
Yeah.
All right.
The same here. I do the same thing as when I'm doing the breaststroke swim, so to say.
Yeah.
The same thing with the legs as you described them, like the frog do more or less.
The frog kick. That's it.
Yeah.
Because you can just do it just periodically and you just sort of like, it's relaxing. This requires, for me, I find this requires a little more work. And
yeah, it does. That's more energetic. That's more when you're doing what is it called in English? Crawling, like, that kind of swim technique.
Freestyle, they call it, I think. I think that's the thing.
Freestyle, exactly.
That's the one. So I have to
drunk snail in one. Okay. I got a picture in my head. Go on.
I've been swimming with Elijah. He's a much better swimmer than me, but hey, it is what it is. So
it is what it is.
I'm in the water and I'm having to get accustomed to doing this. But once you get accustomed to it, remember the flippers do a lot of work for you. So it actually is easier to do it with the flippers. But then on top of that, you don't have to. You have a hockey stick on your hand, and you have gloves. So you then have to sort of like, navigate how you're moving in the water. And then the worst part, the most difficult part of it is the snorkel. Because I've never used a snorkel before. So to me, this is the...
Oh, you haven't? Then it's hard. It's a special technique when you're going up and down with the snorkel.
Exactly.
I've done that quite a lot, so I'm quite used to it. But if you aren't used to it, that takes some time to learn. Yeah.
It's horrible initially because the thing is, for those who have used a snorkel, the snorkel kind of sticks up at above your head, like about that high.
Yeah.
So
like an antenna.
Like an antenna that's slightly above your head. But essentially, the idea of why you have the snorkel on is that you can keep your head down and the snorkel is up, so you can still keep your head in the water while you're just taking air. The problem is you have to master the technique of getting the snorkel above the water to then take in air, because you have to blow out all the air you want in one go. It's not like, oh, just release air periodically like you would do normally if you're just swimming without a snorkel. You have to just and get it all out there, and then from there, then you're taking a big gulp of air back in. I wasn't accustomed to that, so there I would be at the bottom of the pool, swimming, get into the puck, and then I'm dying, panic, get to the top.
Dude, yeah, exactly.
Get the air out, because the thing is that I would swim up to the top thinking I got to the top, but I'm not exactly at the top. And then I blow the air out, but I don't blow it out as forcefully, and then there's water coming back in, so I'm choking, and I'm trying to... So I took off the snorkel at one point. I was like, look, I'm just doing without the snorkel. The problem with underwater hockey is you have to keep your head in the water to see what everyone's doing with the puck, because it goes so quick. It goes so quick because you have a lot of people that's swimming around, moving it and all this other stuff. So I was in there loving it, swimming, but then eventually I realized I need to keep my head in the water. So I put the snorkel back on. I was like, I'm doing this. So I worked out a technique. I'd stay near the middle of the pool. right? Once the match started, I'll stay in the middle of the pool and just sort of stay above water as long as possible, keep some air in my mouth. And when I see the play go into the opposition team and I can get into the play, I swim down, get the puck, and try to, pass and move the ball, the puck forward, and then get back up to the top, catch some more air, keep my head underwater to see what's going on and see how I can get it.
Right.
And that's the actual technique of how you play it. You don't actually stay under the water the entire time. There are some people that do.
No.
But most of the time, you swim, you get the puck, you move it, you pass it, you do whatever you have to do, and then you go back up because it's 7 people. By the time you're going up, someone's moving it,
Of course.
So,
no, I understand. It becomes a bit of a tactical thing to keep track of the other team and when they're down or when they're breathing up there or whatever have you. So I understand. It sounds, as said, I haven't heard about this before.
It is the coolest.
I mean, I know about the water rugby and stuff like that, and and things, but not really underwater hockey. So let's cool. But that was nice that you were.
I had so much fun doing it, and the thing is, I scored one. The last goal was mine. So I was the last play. I was let's say I'm in the pool. I'm on the left hand side of the pool. And I'm watching everyone sort of like moving around underneath. I'm taking breaths, I'm finally getting the hang of it. And then I see the puck, sort of like someone on my team move the puck, and then it's sort of like in a place where I think I can win it. Right. So I start swimming down to the bottom because you can't get the puck if you're upright or you're diagonal. You have to be flat. So I swim down as fast as I can to the bottom, take this deep gulp of air. I grab it and I'm just like, the adrenaline is pumping. So I'm like, I won't take another breath of air until I move this thing. So I get down there, I start moving it, and I pass it to the guy who's on my team to the side of me, and he starts moving it forward. And then we get closer to the opposition team, but I'm right alongside him because I'm just like, yeah, we got this. And they've got someone else on their team sort of like around us. And I'm just like, you're underwater, so you can't even say like pass. But I'm next to him, and I'm looking over at him. I'm like, please pass. And he sees me, passes it to me. I get it. I'm going towards the opposition goal, and then there's a guy just pops up in front of me, and his stick is right in front of mine. Because when you're that low, all you're seeing is you're just seeing everyone at their eye level. I can see his stick, and I can see him right in front of me. And I'm like, frack. I need to, like, it's one or two things. The guy who just passed to me is still on my right. I could pass to him and give him the goal, or I can take the shot. And I was just like, screw it, take the shot, Q, take the shot. And I flicked it, boom, went over his hockey stick, landed in the goal. I was like, and the thing when you score, because it's made of metal underwater, you hear this pinging song in your ears. It's like, bing.
Oh, cool.
Underwater, so everyone knows, oh, there's a goal, go up to the top. So you swim to the top and everyone's high-fiving me and stuff, and they're like, oh, great, you've done so great your first time and all this sort of stuff. And so
fun.
It was absolutely amazing. We had a great time. Honestly, Lancaster is one of the most beautiful cities in the UK that I've visited, or towns. Visiting Elijah is he's just like a super host. The guy is just absolutely amazing. He's just really nice and so forth. So it was just nice, just us walking and chatting and so forth. And it was the same for Stephen as well. Just walking and chatting with him as well was pretty nice. It was like, I think with Stephen, it was more like we were just chatting and casual conversation. With Elijah, it was more me talking about myself and what I'm feeling and stuff, and him just sort of, because Elijah's older than me, so him sort of like giving me advice and also just listening to me, at the same time. So it was just really nice. And I think by maybe the second or third day, I was great. I was just like, wow, I feel good. I feel really good here. And the temperature was nice, so we were out, and I think every single day I was up there, I went on a walk. I don't think one day I spent in the house. Every day I went out for a walk. I was out of the house.
Good. Yeah,
and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, Lancaster, absolutely amazing. The other thing too as well, I didn't expect, it's actually it's not as cosmopolitan as Reading, but it is quite cosmopolitan because you have a lot of university students there. Lancaster is a university, and there's a castle as well there. So Elijah lives right near this castle. So like we went to that castle a lot. But it was just honestly a really, really nice place. Really, really nice time. I felt great. And yeah, I could easily live in Lancaster. Even the property prices are cheaper. I was just like, I started thinking, I could move here.
Yeah, exactly.
But Elijah said I'm not allowed to move to Lancaster. So He do,
So that's that.
he doesn't want me there, unfortunately. He doesn't mind if I come to visit, but he doesn't want me permanently living in his city. He wants to keep it to himself. So
Yeah, there we go. There
yeah,
we go. Want it
that's
for
it.
himself.
So that
Uh,
has been my 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks for me. So in that time, I don't think I watched much telly. I did watch The Boys because I introduced Elijah to The Boys and he loves it now.
no, good. Good
So
one.
I did watch like the first episode or two with him, and then I left the rest of him. I was like, I've already seen this, so it don't matter
Yeah,
to me.
sure. Yeah, of course. Of course. Yeah, yeah.
I have been watching
Introduction.
the Club World Cup though. Oh my god, have you been watching it?
No,
You haven't been watching FIFA Club World Cup?
no.
Oh, Roger. Club World Cup is
No, I
going on,
haven't.
man.
Been busy with other things that we need to get to. I think we need to move on a bit here if we're
Go
gonna
for it.
have. I'm thinking about the time,
Yes.
but I guess the whole thing you describing your time. I think it sounds beautiful, and I think it was really good for you. I can hear that
Mm-hmm.
from the bottom of your heart, and also that Lancaster definitely seems like a place to go. It sounds like it was definitely worth it.
Yeah.
Uh, and I've only, I mean, I know, when you said Lancaster, I know, okay, Lancaster. Don't really know exactly where it's at. I'm gonna take a look at the map later on, but I've definitely heard the name for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Also living in Sweden.
Mm-hmm.
I can just say during the time you've been away, I've been not away. I've been at home. You and I, as said, tried to podcast when you were in Liverpool and everything.
Mm-hmm.
After the concert, like 2 weeks ago, we had this concert with the band, which was great. It was really great. We got a lot of nice feedback.
Mm-hmm.
I made I put together clips that Adam took from the concert. I mean, the sound is what it is, but it's
Mm-hmm.
on the Capital 59 YouTube channel.
Ooh.
So if you guys want to see something from the actual concert, you can check it out there. It's two short versions of just parts from different songs. I mean, again, the sound is what it is. It's the mobile phone. It's not from the actual mix or anything. But even so, it gives you a hint of what we've been doing there.
Mm-hmm.
But I got sick after that. I know that our singer got sick, and then like at 1.5 week ago, I woke up with a really sore throat, and I was like, this is not so good, is it?
Mm-hmm.
And I got worse, and I lost my voice. I couldn't really talk. I skipped the stream 1.5 week ago
Mm-hmm.
on that particular Sunday, which was a good choice. And then I did stream the following Tuesday, which was a bit on like, yeah, maybe shouldn't have, but I did. I have fun playing. Gonna
Mm-hmm.
talk about the game what that we played together,
Mm-hmm.
me and some other guys soon. But I have been struggling. It was years ago since I got this bad. And Annalie, actually, my wife said it. I haven't seen you this bad for a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a really sore throat. It took over a week before I got like really got better. And then it's, when you've been like that, it takes almost 5-6 days until you really get back on track again. Because I was constantly like fixing my nose during the day and spitting out all these mucus coming up, and I didn't do anything else for a couple of days. It was absolutely horrible. But with time, it goes back. So I didn't work out for a week. I stayed away from the gym, of course, which is a boomer for me. It really, I get very stressed out when I don't work out. But anywho, so that took away more than a week for me. If we're talking the perspective of us not really been streaming or talking that much during 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
But then back on track, I've been doing my normal thing. Finally, also the weather became better. We've had some days of rain and not that warm, but now it's been better. Today it was really, really good, really nice. So it's been quite good. We've done some things with the family. Adam came over, and we have had some nice meals together, and we went to the
Ooh.
cinema, which I just realized I haven't been to a movie theater for years. I think it's before I think it's before the COVID, like
Really?
2000. Yes, it's that long time ago. And we're getting to that too, because I want to talk about that film
Mm-hmm.
definitely. But so it's been a mix of this and that, a mixed bag, so to say. I'm happy that I feel so much better now, more energized and everything. And I also feel it feels good to be at this new gym that I talked about. Now we've been there for like 1.5, 2 weeks, I would say, even though I missed the week in between there being ill. But yeah, I think things are rolling on pretty well. I
Mm-hmm.
think our family will have some vacation together, like this from the second week in July. I talked to my oldest son Adam, and he's gonna probably take time off at the same time. We try to, if we can, we try to calibrate our schedules and everything. So I hope that's gonna be the case.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but besides that, it's been focused on. I'm also, like as I told you, building another portfolio when it comes to music.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing some trailer music that I'm putting quite some time into, and I'm going to start to pitch that soon.
Mm-hmm.
But I have some things I need to do before that when it comes to the whole package around it. And I also think I need to fix a website. I haven't bothered having a website, but some think it's a good idea and some doesn't. It's different sayings from
Mm-hmm.
people in the like music license industry where I'm at the moment, at least. So I'm gonna look into that. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
And I fixed new glasses. I went to the optician like
Oh,
2 weeks ago. Checked my eyes and everything again. And nowadays they have such, the technique is really good because they can also look at the health of the actual eye,
mm-hmm.
like inside, so to say, due to X-ray and stuff. And yeah, look at that.
Our glasses are
Glasses are on.
almost identical.
Yeah, almost. I had the good thing is they had a good deal. So I got like normal pair and also sunglasses
Ooh.
at the same time. So it's good. Like um, but anyway, what he said is like, well, I have to say, I looked at your eye here, and when I see the nerve and everything, because if we can nowadays they can actually see if you have if you are beginning to get diabetes just by looking
Really?
at into the eye. They see small black dots,
Mm-hmm.
and if that's the case, they usually send you to doctors so they can move on further just to make sure it's not diabetes, or if
Mm-hmm.
it is. In my case, it was nothing like that. And it's that you have actually your eyes, like the health of your eyes is like if you were 20 years old. I'm not kidding. he,
Wow.
he was like, I'm like, yeah, I know.
Strong eyes. You're like, look, my eyes
I
work
know.
out. My eyes do bicep
I
curls
know.
and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
my when other eyes are resting, my eyes are doing eyelid ups. They're just like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. No, but that was sweet. It felt that he meant it was not because sometimes you can feel when someone says something they're just nice. But yeah,
Mhm,
I felt that he was actually saying that as a profession kind of thing.
mhm,
But anywho, that's great. I finally fixed this, and when I went there to pick up the glasses today, you know how it is when you put them on and you're
mhm,
like, oh, I mean, it wasn't. My eyes hasn't changed that much the last couple of 5, 8 years,
mhm,
but I needed a bit stronger, a bit
mhm.
stronger. So of course it makes a difference in a distance. It's
Yeah.
much easier now for me to, yeah, driving the car and everything. It feels really, really good.
Mhm,
Sitting like this, the problem for me now is that uh, watching my screen in front of me, and when I'm like playing or in streaming, it's sometimes better off to take off my glasses.
yeah.
I'm like a bit in between when it comes to
Mhm,
sharpness. We'll see. I do have terminal glasses, but they're made to work with lenses.
mhm.
So I probably need to. I mean, I was only wearing lenses for a very long time. It's
Mhm,
it's the last 5, 6 years I've mainly been using glasses again, so to
mhm.
say. But yeah, so it's good. Some practical stuff. I needed to renew my driving license, which happens
Ooh
every
la la.
10th year. So, and those
Ooh.
bastards were charging like $35 for that. It's like, hello, you're governmental supported. What are you doing, guys?
So wait,
Uh,
30, is this 35 Swedish krona?
no, no, no. That's 374 Swedish
Oh, so you
kronor, which
converted
is
it to US
around
dollars.
35
Wow.
euros, or yeah,
Oh,
whatever. Yeah, yeah.
that is quite
Uh,
pricey. Mm.
Yeah, it is. I think so too. Again, they are governmentally supported. I was,
Yeah.
and usually when I grew up, when I was an adult also like 10, 20 years ago,
Hmm.
when you got the envelope to
Hmm.
send back the photo and your signature and everything, it was already paid for.
Yeah.
But now it's like an arrow. Remember to put a stamp here. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm paying this money, and now I also need to pay like 22 Swedish kronas for this freaking stamp to send to you.
Hmm.
Revolution!
Oh man, and
Yeah.
they wonder why people are so disgruntled. They tax everything. We can't even live.
Exactly, exactly. There you go. There you go.
Hmm.
Exactly. That's what I've been like about this matter for days. And now, just before you and I hooked up, I also paid like the bills and everything went through, and
Hmm.
okay, I need to put it there, or I don't want to, but I need to, or please. Yeah. But that's that. That's the weeks, I would say, since we haven't been podcasting for some time now. But let's get into stuff when it
Yeah,
comes to what we have been watching and
and
maybe
playing.
playing regarding video games.
Yeah, definitely. And hi, Chris. By the way, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Chris. Nice to have you here. Hope you're fine. Yeah.
I will say for me, I'll start with I have not been
Yeah.
watching anything because I've been
Yeah.
out.
You've been outdoors. You've been
Yeah,
doing outdoors activities.
and
Yeah.
gaming wise, I did have my Steam Deck and my Xbox with me to claim my eFootball dailies because I've got an addiction. I can't help it. So
It's fine. It's fine to. That's a pretty sound addiction in my eyes
pretty
or
solid.
ears.
I had this one mate that came over to my cousin's my brother in law's house who was staying by in Liverpool, and he installed Call of Duty to my Xbox and played Call of Duty on it because it was just there plugged into the telly. So he installed it. He played a bit of Call of Duty. I wasn't too bothered. But yeah, I mostly just logged in to play my dailies in eFootball, and then the rest was just out of the house. It's just like, okay, I'm out of
Yeah.
the house. I have things to do. So I think there was one day where I actually played a match or two, really, and that was with I was chilling with Elijah and we were just having a chat, and it was pretty late. And I just turned it on to do my dailies, and I was like, oh, let me just do a match or two. And he was trying to give me smack. He's like, oh, you know what? If you don't win this, you're so crap, blah blah blah. And he loves giving me smack talk. So I'm just like, all right, cool, bet.
Of course.
And I'm telling you, Rog, I'm like, oh, I'm the best, Elijah. Like, I get in the match, Rog, and I'm losing, bro. Like 1-0,
Look at
2-0,
that.
3-0. I'm just like, Elijah, he
No.
is laughing in the background. Just like he is livid, and first half is over, and I'm like, it's all right. We can come back. We can come
Yeah,
back.
yeah.
Raj, I don't know what
Hmm.
happened. I think there was a side of me that came alive. Started off with one goal, boom. I was like, okay, we're back in this. Then the second goal was a free kick from long range, and Elijah was like, oh my god, that is amazing. And then the third
Cool.
goal came in, and I put in the third goal, and then the fourth goal, boom, and I won the match. And I was like, that's what we're talking about. You don't
Yep.
know, you don't mess with the warrior. It was brilliant.
Yep.
So that's pretty much it. I did get to try the Switch 2 though. Elijah's Switch 2. I did try that when I was
Oh,
visiting him.
really?
Yeah, I played
Okay.
Mario Kart.
Okay.
It is sick. It is a pretty cool piece of tech. That Switch 2.
Okay.
Really nice. The visuals look great. The gameplay looks great. I mean, Mario Kart is Mario Kart, to be honest. It does, like, it's
Mm,
just Mario Kart.
mm,
There's nothing special.
yeah.
If you have regular Mario Kart 8, you're not losing anything not playing this new one yet. But
Mm.
it's nice. He's got the controllers, the way it clips in with the magnets is really nice. Yeah, it's a really nice piece of kit. I like how the menus look. Scrolling through, one of the things you notice if you've had a Switch before, when you go to the store and you try to search for games, it is so laggy and slow. The Switch 2, smooth, buttery.
Oh,
So
cool. Yeah.
it's nice.
Mm.
So I got to try the Switch 2. I can't wait until I get one. It won't be anytime soon. But someday I'll get one and I will enjoy it
Yeah, yeah.
when I do. So yeah, that's my gaming. That's my
Yeah,
gaming.
yeah, but that sounds really nice. That sounds good. Having fun playing video games is exactly what I also try to achieve. Sometimes I actually succeed, but as you
Sometimes.
know, we've been playing a lot now through the years, and when that we become a bit more, how do you say, selective, and also more like it's gonna take some to actually, how do you say, kickstart this flame or this like, oh, I'm getting a bit hyped over this. It
Yeah.
takes quite some nowadays. But to be honest with you, I've had a bit of that, and it was a bit unexpected. It was a game that Adam, my oldest son, uh, told me that I just needed to try out.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it's been a bit during the Steam Next Fest and everything when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to newer games, showing like demos and upcoming stuff. And this is a game that most likely will be released soon. It's made by a Swedish studio. I didn't know about them at all. They're called Keepsake Games, and they seem they look very nice. They had a nice picture when it comes to
Mm-hmm.
them. I was like, oh, nice crew. Yeah, okay. Uh, I'm talking about a game called Jump Ship. And
Mm-hmm.
this is something I would normally I played games like this like before, but I haven't really played them that much. And I'm talking about a mission-based co-op game,
Mm-hmm.
a PvE co-op game for up to 4 players.
Yeah.
And in this case, you are the crew of a spaceship,
Mm-hmm.
and the transition here that they've kind of managed to do is very seamless when it comes to, you know, like crewing the actual ship,
Mm-hmm.
but going from like the ship environment out in space when it comes
Mm-hmm.
to on-foot exploration and spacewalks.
Yeah.
And this I really liked. It was
Mm-hmm.
super cool. But and on to that, of course, there are missions, and there's like FPS elements.
Oh
So the
wow.
game switches quite fast. You might be on the ship, you get to this new place, get out of light speed,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you're gonna get some worthful scrap or something at
Mm-hmm.
an abandoned space station. You go there. There are like enemy ships. Oh, can you go and can you take the rear cannon? Yeah, sure. Oh, there's a fire starting on board. I have to get the fire extinguisher. Shh, stress. Oh, what the frack? It's radioactive somewhere. What are we gonna do? You know, and oh, I gotta get out from the ship. I need to fix a leak on the outside. Okay. Oh, we have been boarded. What the frack? And there's someone. You know, pretty darn cool.
It does look cool.
I started to play this demo. It's not up now. It was for a
Mm-hmm.
couple of weeks or whatever have you.
Mm-hmm.
I played it. There's a video on my channel if you guys are interested where
Mm-hmm.
I played solo, and it was fun to play solo. But the game really flourished and became, you know, even more tense and more variation even when you start to play with other people. So I played with Crazy, my youngest son Isaac,
Mm-hmm.
and I played with the moderator on my Discord and two other guys. So we one other guy. So we were four. We were a full crew. It was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I can definitely see myself getting into this game when it's released. I haven't seen a date yet. I haven't seen a price tag. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
much more about it. But the game was freaking solid. It looks really good.
Yeah.
And for being a demo and not being out yet, man, I've been playing play tests and games that has been fully released, AAA
Mm-hmm.
games that plays way less optimized and good as this one did.
Mm-hmm.
So positive.
It
Jump ship.
looks
Yeah, you see, right?
it
Yeah.
looks it looks absolutely awesome. I just posted a link of your video in the chat, so those of you who want to check it out, just check the chat. It should be a link there for you. The
Yeah,
gameplay
cool.
looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Specs wise, it can run pretty well on most things. I'm seeing AMD Ryzen. The recommended looking at AMD Ryzen 7 5800X. I think that's my processor at the moment.
Yeah.
Intel Core i7 12700, 16 gigs of RAM, 8 gig VRAM, 3060 Ti is the standard or better. I mean, most people these days have at least something around that range. I think the
I would say
3060.
so. I would say so, which means that it will most likely be a game also quite available for a lot of people, you know,
Yeah.
when it comes to the lower spec of things.
Mm-hmm.
No, this was a great experience for me. Unfortunately, this was when I wasn't still recovered.
Mm-hmm.
I was, I my voice was not doing well at that stream, and not the day after either. But that's the history now. But I had a good time, and as said, the game surprised me a bit. It was like, okay, wow, nice. I gotta put this on my wish list, and I did. Um, I've also played another co-op PV, like a roguelite game, upcoming game that will be released on August 12th. I'm just going to mention it.
Yeah.
It's called Abysses. It's also going to be a co-op game. And if you've ever played a game, I played a game that is called Gunfire Reborn, which is a really
Mm-hmm.
good game, a roguelite FPS game, which is still definitely worth to buy and get on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
And this game reminded me about it, but this is more set in a different kind of setting. It's like underwater, like a
Mm-hmm.
sunken kind of whatever place. Also PvE, as said. And yeah, cool. So Abysses is also something I made a video about that too the
Mm-hmm.
other day. So if you guys are interested, but yeah, good. You gave me some hope when it comes to newer games coming out that aren't necessarily in exactly what I would play normally, but I can see myself definitely trying it out, and depending also on the price tag. We'll see about that later.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking at the
Yeah.
gameplay right now. It's giving me a
Mm.
sort of what's that shooter called with the where you have the big daddies in it? BioShock. It's
Oh,
giving,
yeah. BioShock. Yes, due to the setting, I can understand that you get that vibe.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's definitely giving off a BioShock vibe, but it looks
Mm.
interesting. Looks pretty cool. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so too. Well, so
Hmm.
that's been the gaming